Hey friends, hey guys, and welcome back to Love This For Us.
Yeah, even though we're not recording the podcast.
We're not recording the podcast,
We'll start on that again, but this is a...
Yeah, it's been a long time since you've been on the channel.
It is.
And everybody...
I am Jill, Lauren's mom.
I know, everybody's been wondering where you are, why haven't we filmed, and I guess the big question is, Mom, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you been?
Where have I been?
Where have you been? That's what the people want to know. It's like we don't have a super, like we just do a little catch up and see where has Mom been, because Mom has been absent a little bit from, at least from the channel, not in life.
Yeah, not in life. No, we're all still together
every day,
all the time.
Yeah.
Where have I been? Well, 2020 was hard, so we thought 2021 would be our year. So in early January, my brother was hospitalized with something that wasn't COVID, but he was in the hospital a long time, 15 days. But in the middle of that, Freedom had to travel for work. Pop had to travel for work to California. Was there a week, got COVID.
Yep.
Had a couple of rough days, but other than, you probably followed all that on there. But anyway, he was gone for, by the time it was all said and done, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So he got home. Everett was born.
Everett was born.
So, thank goodness for Everett. Then you got the infection. There was the middle of the night phone call that Lauren's incision has split open. I've called 911. There was that, then rush you to Dr. Vagovic the next morning to get drained, and then the shots. So there was that. There was that.
Yes, love that.
And then the end of April, my brother was back in the hospital he had a disease. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
He had a disease that took everything away from him and his life. He died on May 4th, May 5th. I'm always bad about that, but he died early in May. And I kind of went into a deep dark hole. Think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
I'm the last surviving member of my little family that I share I've heard this expression, the family you shared walls with. So
that
in other
makes
words,
sense.
Like where somebody, could say, well, I'm your uncle, I understand. It's like, well, you didn't share walls with us, so the last of my family,
Mom, dad, brother,
and in the course of 10 years. So I was just kind of getting over the funk I was in after my mom died almost
3 years.
It'll be 3 years. And then my brother died. And it just really made me have to confront a lot. It hurt very much because of the way he died and how things were when he died. So there was a lot of hurt, and then there's no family. I have an aunt who probably watches this, if Aunt Sal. I still have some family, but not the people I shared walls with, to say, why did Dad do whatever? What did Mom put on? Whatever.
And that sibling relationship of like, do you remember when we were 10 and I pushed you out of a tree and you broke your arm?
That was his
go-to
That was his origin story.
Yeah.
And he and I were close at a younger time in our life.
When I was a baby, right?
Yeah, and a young child. And, we were never, and then his disease just kind of changed him and changed our relationship. So,
yeah.
So there's that. So I'm just kind of coming out of that. And then Friedhelm's brother was diagnosed with COVID and was very, very sick. So Friedhelm left where he was on a job and went to the family, and he was there about 3 weeks, and then he was home for a couple of days, and his brother took a turn for the worse and passed away, so he was up there again. Then he came home, and then we went up together for the services, and he was back home 3 or 4 days, and then Oma, his mom, got sick and ended up in the hospital. So it's just been a lot.
And then Mom broke her toe.
Oh yeah, last Sunday I stubbed my toe on the dresser and decided to try to rip it off. I kind of caught it like this. I don't know, it's the best way, like this.
Yeah.
And it was hanging off the side of my foot. So I had a sleeve I used for plantar fasciitis, slid it on, put the toe back in place. Woke up in the morning though, my foot was black, and I went to Dr. Google, and he said if it's just a broken toe, you buddy tape it and good to go. But if you've broken a bone in your foot, you shouldn't walk around on it. So since I had an event that week, went and got it x-rayed, and the ER doctor kind of misread it, told me my foot was broken, put me on crutches and all that. Went to the podiatrist that our family uses the next day, and it's actually just my toe broken in here.
It looks funky though.
It did look funky. Looks pretty good today.
That's a pretty good summary of like a catch up of what's gone on with Jill this last...
It's not been...
8 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the most difficult period in my life, even though, you know, dealing with your grandfather and his sickness and caregiving, you know, and then dealing with your grandmother after he passed away and caregiving and just all
then
that.
you had to take care of
You know.
your brother caregiving wise a little
And
bit.
a little bit too. So it just, I think, and the thing is with that is with my parents, I had to do all the things, sell the houses or, you know, that kind of stuff. I didn't have to do that with my brother.
You could actually grieve.
And I
always
could
said
grieve. So it really threw me into grieving, I think, all three of them. Because before I never had the time. I'm just like, all right, now I gotta keep it moving. I gotta take care of whatever the next thing is. There was nothing to take care of with this. So I could just grieve. And I tell you, it's no joke. Flat out grieving is no joke. I thought I grieved a lot for your grandfather, but it was in a different way. This was grief like gut punch, gut crying, not want, you know, for a brief moment of time thinking I don't want to have this pain go on. Not like I, you know, wasn't gonna do anything.
I know.
But, you know, in that couple of, and you know, once you've had hurt in your life, when you have a horrible 5 minutes, that you know it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
You know, that's the scary part when you are not, if you can't get through those 5 minutes.
Yeah, the 5 minutes feel unbearable.
Oh, absolutely. You think, I can't do this.
And I have experienced loss in my life, obviously, with Papa and Grandma and stuff, but I've never experienced the magnitude of loss that you've experienced, especially in a short amount of time, and how complicated it was.
And then now to watch your father grieve.
His only sibling.
Which he doesn't, he's kind of in that boat now, you know, of having to do things. So his grief is like on a back burner, you know. And
because his mom is still alive.
Almost still alive and healthy, but, you know, needs some, as anybody does, needs some help. We all need help with different things.
Every once in a while, yeah.
So,
and she doesn't live here. She lives further away, which we're going there for Thanksgiving, which will be really nice. And
because we saw all the family. We haven't seen anybody since COVID. And we saw all the family during the services and stuff, which family is wonderful. And that is one of the blessings of such a hard time when you lose somebody is, you know, just like with my brother, we had almost a full day. I was there a couple of days, and then we had almost a full day of the entire family throughout the day gathered at his bedside and telling stories. And, you know, there wasn't verbal forgiveness, but there was forgiveness and love. So it, like the hurt and the things that had plagued us, everybody we didn't even speak of it. We were just like, all right. And now we just told childhood stories and, you know, that sort of thing.
That's what you should do.
That's one of the blessings of a sad time.
Especially with being able to be there when you know things are getting bad or close to the end, especially at the hospice care center. That's where all three of them passed.
Yeah, and that was another, I couldn't almost get past that. You know, that was the exact, I mean, I had walked into that place with 3 family members and walked out 3 times without.
Made me cry a little.
Yeah, that was, because when Papa died, you know, we had Graham with us, you know, so it was me, Friedhelm, and Graham. I remember us walking out. And then when Mom died, I remember Burke and I walked out holding hands. And I remember the hospice ladies were crying, you know, and it's like, you know, we had a very brief period of time of closeness again after that. And then this time, you know.
Don't cry.
I'm trying to remember. I think Bailey and I walked out holding hands.
And now she's so young.
Yeah.
And she's lost her child. And then a few months later has lost her father. So
yeah,
can't even wrap my head around that.
I'm not even remembering that last. I'm trying to remember Burke's, you know, I guess
Were
my
you
mind
there
is
for
blank.
that? He passed.
Yes. Bailey and I met there.
She
That's
woke
what
up in the middle of the night, remember? And
Yep.
she was like,
oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Which was what happened with my father. So
They didn't want
Burke
people
always
there.
idolized our father, and that we all knew that's what happened with Dad. Dad passed away after Burke and I had been taking turns at his bedside, and Burke left, and then Papa passed a couple hours later. So it's kind of what Burke did that night. So that
and
was
Graham
kind of,
passed with you and Burke there.
holding her hand. Yeah.
That's how Graham would have wanted to go.
Absolutely.
That's exactly how she went. That's exactly how and I was there a couple hours before that.
That was the most peaceful thing I've ever seen in my life.
if everybody can go out like that, I'll be fine. I'm fine with it if I can go out. I know this is super, I don't want it to be super dark. I know, I'm sorry.
I'm not even crying.
I know, it's amazing. I don't mean that in a bad way. You've just had
this is kombucha, not a beer bottle.
You've had a lot of sadness in the last year. We really thought 2020 was really bad. Do you remember? And we were like, 2021
is gonna be our year. Well, it was our year, all right.
The best thing to happen was Ev, obviously, and then everything else has been very hard.
Everybody else has stayed. I mean, Ella's been healthy. We've all stayed healthy. Your father had just a mild case of COVID.
It's just so crazy that he had such a mild case of COVID before the vaccines and everything.
Yeah, he probably had whatever came before Delta.
Yeah.
He had the original, the OG.
Yeah. Uncle Eberhard did not.
Had the Delta variant, I'm sure, when it was so bad. So
it's crazy. It's just, so that's where mom has been, guys. It's been dark and heavy, and I share a lot. I share a lot on my channel. I share a lot of myself, but like there's things I just don't share because not everybody, I don't want everyone to like, you know, bring down the mood.
It made me appreciate that depression is real. I mean, I knew anxiety was real because we've had that in our
You've
family.
never been depressed.
No, but I think I was.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it just, I don't know. I don't know how it just, the veil is lifting.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And you know, now being able to try to help your father go through his grieving and caregiving process is actually kind of helpful. Because really, I had just before Uncle Eberhard got sick, I was like, oh, I'm feeling better. I'm starting to feel myself. Yeah.
Are you okay?
And I was starting to feel it again, and then I broke my toe, so I can't feel myself.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. You know that.
I know you're okay, but you're like, you're okay.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'm okay, too.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's your hives. I mean, it's just...
Well, that's nothing. It went away as fast as it came, it's as quick as it left, and that's a blessing. It's just been...
our vacation. We were supposed to go away on 4th of July, and then,
Pop had a heart thing,
yeah. Pop had a heart scare, which turned out to be a severe dehydration event.
Which we said.
Yeah.
We all said.
We figured.
But mom said, absolutely not. You're going to the cardiologist. And
well, at his
age.
Not that he's older, but I mean, we're at the age where it's like, is it real or is it not? So.
And now I'm at the age where I feel like 2021 has brought on... I don't know if it's 2020... Postpartum for me has given me new health things that I've never experienced before, and it could be because I'm over 30 and overweight, obese, all the things, but I'm having elevated blood pressure, and every time I look it up, it's like I'm right on the cusp of normal and elevated. Does that make sense? So, and then the hives thing was weird, and the weird rash and the infection and stuff. But I've learned that an infection as severe as the infection that I had can bring on a lot of other things after it. It can actually start, it can give you fibromyalgia. That's how people get I don't think I have it. I don't think so. But fibromyalgia is brought on by either super traumatic event or a really, really bad infection. Did you know that?
No, I don't know much about it. I know a few people with fibromyalgia, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, so it's just been physically super hard, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah, there was a back going out in there in the middle of that.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot. And I think that's the thing, is it's not just us who are affected by life this year. I think everybody thought 2020, because the pandemic happened and it was crazy and we're all locked down in our houses, we thought that was going to be the worst year, hardest year. But like the year following, even though I know we're very aware there's still a pandemic, whatever, but now there's things in place and people can get vaccinated or not. That's not a discussion. But there's things in place to, life is kind of opened back up, and I think it's affecting a lot of people in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of depression from the previous year, and strained relationships, and illness.
Here in Florida, our worst time was, you know,
July
this year.
Yeah,
it wasn't the year before. So you know, we had that tough time. You know, people that we know that are in healthcare that are absolutely overwhelmed, and you know, it just we had gotten to the point around here like there's nowhere to go to the hospital.
If you broke your toe or had the hives, you couldn't go anywhere, and thankfully that's
all of our stuff. Like Pop's little heart issue happened right before it got really bad, so he was able to go to the emergency room, and you know, then it,
as quickly as that came on here and was really bad, it went just as fast.
We had 5 or 6 months of really bad.
And now the emergency room I went, and I'm not saying they're not overloaded everywhere else, but here it's relatively back to normal,
Right.
which is nice.
Right.
But if you guys are going through a hard time, you've had a hard year,
We feel you.
couple years, yeah, that's where mom's been. I used to vlog a lot more too, which I'm getting back into the swing of vlogging. I'm really enjoying it again. It's been fun for me, but John and I we're in the home buying process, and that's uber stressful, which a lot of people didn't know the house thing. So when I was talking about buying the house, they're like, oh, I thought you owned it. And it's like, then I get this stray couple of like, just because of your mom, you're able to live there. And it's like, yeah. It's like, yeah. But we're buying the house from my mom.
Right.
And it will financially.
And that in itself was a complicated thing,
Yeah.
because what I had to go through after my mom, it was
a thing.
So as soon as Lauren's like, we're ready to start buying the house, I'm like, now, like, I have to think about the house.
I know, and I felt so, and I'm like calling you because there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot that you have to kind of be aware of, and I could tell so bad like you just didn't want to deal with it, but you don't have to do anything. You just have to like say,
give me the money.
Is this okay? But it's all, there's
meet you at closing, bring me the check.
Pretty much. It's very complicated, very dark, but also very so
I'm not even going to say that 2022 is going to be your year.
No, it's going to be what it'll be.
Today is our day. That's how we're going to start going. Today's a good day.
I think we're going to learn a lot, because between you and I, we're both hypochondriacs. I mean, I know you hate to admit that, but we come by it honestly. I mean, Graham was. Oh. I think it's genetic, which is crazy.
The health anxiety.
It has to be genetic, because like how 3 generations have it, or we just passed it on to each other by projecting. Hopefully Ella doesn't pick up on that. Thankfully, social cues wise,
yeah, she won't.
That's not a thing she would pick up on necessarily, but she's scared of the weather, so who really knows, you know? It's great. lots of layers here, lots of things to unpack, but that is where mom has been.
Yep.
Here, still working, still training, still doing your thing.
Yeah. But there were days it was a, you know, you wake up and you're like, I just don't want to do this.
Like John said.
Not like life. I mean, like, I just don't want to get up. I don't want to have to go anywhere. You know, and I will say that as soon as you get up and do whatever it is that you do, take a shower, get dressed, go to the gym, whatever, you always feel better. That's
what John said. So, you wake up tired. You wake up tired and ready for the day to end so that you can go to bed again.
Yes.
And after John lost his uncle and his dad and all of that stuff, he like has
and that's a terrible thing. You get up and you're like, is it, how early can I go to bed tonight and put
like I'm ready for everybody to go to sleep so I can just be done with the day. And when you start your day like that, it's depression. When you start your day ready for bed, not saying unless you didn't have a good night's sleep or kids or whatever, but like that feeling.
The old days where you're hungover and you wake up and you go, how long till I can go back to sleep?
No,
you know whatever happened to me, I'd be like by 4 o'clock that afternoon. I'm talking pre-married, young, you know. You're like,
or when I got pregnant with Elle.
Well, yeah, but
you had that weird 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I wasn't also getting up the next day going, let's do it again.
No, I don't drink now, so
I don't either.
I've had drinks one time since Everett's been born. I just don't enjoy drinking. It's not our thing.
I had half a glass of wine on Sunday while I was making the pot roast and tried to chop my finger off.
Yeah.
So
we're just not those people.
We just don't.
Which of course your father's like, hangover thing.
Now we have to use the non-skid mats under the thing. And we're gonna get better cutting, because for him, something in this house has injured you. I must fix it.
I know.
Better cutting boards. And it was funny, I had just said, I love that you keep the knives so sharp.
It is what it is.
Blood everywhere.
I feel like 2021 is gonna teach us a lot of lessons.
Oh, sure.
I think we're learning a lot. Like, I'm learning I have to just live. Like, I can't be scared of,
I know. Yeah.
Like, everything, because it's gonna happen no matter if I'm scared of it or not. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Our worst case scenario just happens and happens and happens and happens, and I'm like, yeah. And I survive it. I get through it, and every time I get through it, I'm like, well, and if I don't get through it, then
that's how I feel about my back. I'm not constant, but you know,
ish.
What is that twinge? Oh, what is my back gonna go out? It either is or it isn't.
Yeah.
Me worrying about it's only going to make it more likely that it will.
And my blood pressure, me worrying about it is only going to make my blood pressure higher. So yeah, that's where we're at. Thank you guys so much for watching. It was probably a little dark. It's okay. Grief is weird and grief is hard, and it's a lot of complicated grief.
There's some really good, I found a couple of really good sites on Instagram. One's called The Grief. I'm not associated with them at all, but it's called The Grief Kitchen. And she's kind of cooking her way through her grief. and she's in the UK somewhere. But anyway, it's, you know, people share, and it really is. Is that the fire truck across the street? I don't want to get up.
Have you heard that?
What?
The fire truck?
Well, I thought I've known they've been in here for a while, but I thought, well, maybe it's the stick truck picking up the brush.
Nope.
No, that's the voice. I could hear the air brake. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, you're good. I didn't even hear it.
32 years, baby.
Oh,
I hear that stuff in my sleep. But good-wise, I mean, we're good. We're spending family time together.
Everybody's growing.
Pop is home a little bit more. Your hives are healing. My toe is healing. Did a lot of research about how important protein is for bone growth. Anybody going with that?
And I did a lot of research on the triggers for, you know, hives. So we do a lot of research.
But I've had hives my whole life, so you probably get part of that honest.
It was, yeah.
But no, life is good. Ella's doing great.
Awesome.
I mean, and Everett is just pure joy.
Pure love.
You know, and it's nice to see John is feeling better.
Yes,
you know, emotionally, I can tell he's feeling better.
He's gone
Probably,
over the
if
hump.
anybody, it's Pop is the low point, you know, just because his grief is fresh. It's only been a month or 2 months, maybe.
A month.
Yeah, September sometime. Yeah. Gosh, worst time to go. Life doesn't give me anything. So.
All right.
But no, we need something happier. Come on, what's happy? So we're gonna have a wonderful holiday season.
It's gonna be a wonderful holiday season, and if hard things happen, we'll get through it like we always do.
Yep.
All right.
Couldn't do without this one. She's my whole world.
Love you.
Love her more than anything.
I love you more than anything.
And she's been letting me like hold her hand and pet her. This is so nice. We should have talked to people more often.
I have people remind me very often that they wish their mom was there to hug and like love on them and touch them. So I allow it to happen because one day you won't have me here and
I'll be stop.
Don't say that. I can't leave. You can't leave before me.
No, it's still
we were supposed to turn this around. See you guys in the next one. Happy stuff.
Tell us what you want us to talk about next time. That was the catch up.
Why don't you tell us something happy down in the comment section below?
Go.
Tell us something good that's happened to you.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, did it cut us off?
It died, yeah.
Yeah, tell us something happy in the comments.
Yep.
Or something you overcame that you're proud of.
Yes, that's good. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
You're so pretty.
You
it's
do
a nice lip color. Is that lip color you can't
the
get for me?
Clinique one, yeah, black honey.
I need it.
It's sold out everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I have like a Veda one I got at the hair salon.
It matches, it enhances your natural color of your lips.
Oh, so it's one of those. It's like mood lipstick. Okay.
All right, guys.
All right, gonna be nosy. Go look out the window.
Me too. Bye.
Bye.